So what happens if we have quadratic factors? And in particular, what do we do if we have repeated quadratic factors? Well, we just have to, there's one small tweak on what we've learned so far. So what's the good news about this, this guy? We're given that 8x, we're given the rational function 8x cubed plus 13x divided by quantity x squared plus 2 squared. What's the good news about that denominator? It's as factored as it's going to get. So that inside that x squared plus 2 is an irreducible quadratic factor. Okay? But it is repeated, right? Because you have that outside exponent of 2. All right, so we're going to set up the decomposition. 8x cubed plus 13x, just recopying what I'm given, divided by x squared plus 2 quantity squared. Okay. Now let's talk about the denominators. How many terms do you think there'll be in the decomposition? Just 2, right? And how would you write the first denominator? X squared plus 2 to the first power, right? Because when you go backwards and add the fractions together, that the exponent of 2 attached to the quantity x squared plus the exponent of 1 rather attached to this quantity is going to be engulfed by the common denominator, right? Which is the x squared plus 2 to the higher power of 2. Okay, so we have to take that into account. And then, of course, one of the denominators has to be the x squared plus 2 to the second power. And if this were the third power, you'd have a third term, right? Where the denominator is x squared plus 2 to the third power. So that's no different than the last problem. So what is the difference here? When it's an irreducible quadratic, it's entirely possible that the numerator is a linear factor. Okay? And it's still a proper fraction. So ax plus b is what we're going to use for the numerator here. And likewise here, linear as well, cx plus d. Okay? And that's the big difference. So if it's an irreducible quadratic on top, you're going to put a linear. That's it. Okay? It'll be that way every time. All right, let's clear them. Let's clear those denominators. So what's the LCD? It's given, right? X squared plus 2 quantity squared. I'll do the left-hand side for you. Isn't that nice of me? Let's see. When you multiply by that, oh yeah, it's just 8x cubed plus 13x is all that's left. What do you guys get on the right side? ax plus b times just one factor, right, of x squared plus 2. Is that okay? Oh, you were telling me what's next. Okay. Plus what? Just cx plus d? Yeah. So we cleared the denominators by multiplying through by the LCD, just like you learned in intermediate algebra when you were solving, or maybe algebra 1 or 2 in high school, when you were solving rational equations, right? Any questions on that? Now, is there any kind of shortcut we could use here? Not if we want to stay with real numbers, I don't think. You might try complex numbers. It might work, but I'm not going to do that here. So what do we have to do? Yeah, we're going to FOIL our plan, right? Have you seen this? Let's see. Oh, yeah. What was it? P plus L. And then a plus n, and then you FOIL it, and you FOILed the plan. Yeah, okay. It's lame. But it's going around the internet somewhere, or it's been around for a long time, I guess. There's no funny math jokes. Did I give you the one why are math books sad the other day? Nope. Why are math books sad? Because they're full of problems. Right? Okay. Hey, more people laughed than I thought. All right. Maybe I'll take that to the open mic night. All right. 8x cubed plus 13x. Okay, FOIL it for me. What do you get? ax cubed, first, outer, inner, last. So outer gives you plus 2ax, inner gives you plus bx squared, and the last gives you plus 2b plus cx plus d. All right, do we have any like terms with the x cubed? No, what about x? Can we try it all at once, factoring it out the x? Let's see. So plus 2ax plus cx, if you factor out that x, what's left? 2a plus c? Okay. Okay, yeah, well, going out of order, you're right. So typically we want to go in descending powers. I just was thinking that comes next, and so that's cool. Let's do that. So you're saying you want to put in the bx squared? Any like terms with the bx squared? No, so we'll just leave that in there. Plus that, so we're good there, right? Taking care of that guy, these two guys, what's left? Plus 2b plus d. Okay. System of equations. What's a equal? So remember, the left-hand side, set corresponding coefficients equal. So a equals 8. Oh, that wasn't tough. A equals 8. What about b? There's no x squared term, so the coefficient of the x squared on the left side is 0, which means b equals 0. What about 2a plus c? 13, and then 2b plus d. 2b plus d is 0. So not, these aren't the worst equations. Usually they're not the worst equations you could imagine. Sometimes they get a little bit hairy in the homework, but not too often. So we already know what a is. We already know what b is. Can we get c? Yes. Okay, so so from this equation, 2 times a plus c equals 13. So what does that mean? What's 2 times a? 16 plus c equals 13. So what's c? -3. And then this guy, well, wait a minute. If b is 0, then d must be 0 as well. It's hot and I'm not even breaking a sweat, so it's not that bad. Okay. Right, if the math is really hard and it's a warm room, you're gonna break a sweat. No? You've never done that? Maybe you've never taught on the board. I used to teach on the board, like in Calc 3, you go so fast the first part of class I'd lose weight. Well, the first couple weeks I'd lose weight. It was hard work. Okay. So here we go. All right, so fill it in. This is the decomposition. Do we have all of them in sight? Yeah, okay. So fill it in. What do we get? Okay, so 8x. So b turned out to be 0. Okay, that's fine. Over x squared plus 2 plus -3x plus d is 0 over x squared plus 2, quantity squared. Okay. And that's it.